How's it going? In this video, I'm going to talk a bit about my experience building agentic AI for the last year professionally. Share with you two solid tips for building strong, reliable systems, including some code walkthroughs. So stay tuned. I'm really excited to dive into it. Let's get to it. So, after building AI agents for a year now professionally, the most important lesson that I've learned is to treat agents like functions in programming. Keep them small and laser focused on one task. Don't build one agent with a large set of instructions that tries to do everything. Instead, break that down into multiple specialized agents. This approach will give you far better results. Okay, so I wanted to give you a little more concrete example of like a pattern that large agent would occur where you're trying to handle multiple problems. So in this prompt here, you can see that we are given the following input. First, determine what category this relates to. So that right there is just one task. Then, which is another task, given your determination, the classification of the input, take one of the following actions. And then we will do this case by case. So if this is finance, and then there would be further instructions. So maybe it would be like, research the web, try to answer their question, etc., etc. Usually with this, you'll have a lot of tasks you'll want to solve for each single problem. So these could get quite large, where this ellipsis is. And this is where these agents kind of break down and maybe aren't as focused as they could be. So a better pattern to follow is this, where we were talking about breaking it down into multiple problems. So the first problem is like classify the user's query, and that will be output, finance, sports, or comedy. So we ask the agent to do exactly that. Then in this second function here, we take this router agent on the user's input, and then, depending on what case it is, finance, sports, comedy, we will ask three other agents specialized to that task. So the content of ask finance would be, the prompt would just be whatever is here. So all it knows is finance and these specific instructions, and basically it can't get confused. This is the much more ideal pattern in my experience. So the second thing that I've learned this year is don't use function calling in your agents. I know that's really controversial. I've been building agentic AI before function calling was a thing. And when function calling came out, I thought this was going to solve like anything that I couldn't solve. I thought this was the answer. And I think it is really cool. And I don't want to tell you not to use it, but almost any instance that you might be tempted to use it, you don't need to. You could use a different workflow with structured outputs. I've found that no matter what I say to these agents, in the aggregate, they will not call the function reliably when it should, even when I clear as day tell it to do it in this scenario. And that makes it not ideal. Okay, so here is code that we would typically define for tool calling, where we define our tool and we tell the agent, this is our tool, and typically we say something like, if the query contains math, then please call our function, our tool that we have given you here. Okay? And it's fantastic, it's really elegant, but if we really need something reliable, it's just not the best way because we can't guarantee that this tool will get called. So what I propose a better pattern is one like here, where first we actually try to figure out, just like here where we say, does this contain math? Let's figure that out from the jump. So we ask, our specialized agent, hey, does this query contain math? If it does, then we do what our agent would do in the first example, but a little more explicitly, where we basically sum these numbers, we extract the numbers with an agent, and then sum them ourselves. And then we append to our root prompt that we're going to pass into the agent, where we say refer to this result for the user's math query. And then we ask our agent help with the user's query, like we did here, except this flow will be much more reliable because we can depend on these agents, these specialized agents that we've talked about, to be able to answer this problem. And it does the same thing. Sure, it isn't as elegant. I don't love it. But in this system where answering addition problems is really important, this is the much more reliable way to do it.